Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Getting near Thanksgiving. Getting near Thanksgiving. And maybe the planes are going to fly. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. As in very good morning. Good morning. Let's see what's happening here. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Nerdy, good for you. A little ketchup this weekend, huh? Ketchup without the mustard. Good morning. I'm still fighting my chest cold, but we had an extremely productive week, and things went really well. Sad. Pops is sad. A little sad. Give me 1 second. I have a sneeze like right at the tip of my nose. Good morning. Nerdy, why am I sad? Good question. Because the community garden center that we've been volunteering at, we shut it down Friday for the winter. Picked everything that we could pick. Got everything harvested that was going to be good for the go. And now it's shut down until spring next year. So, I kind of got used to that little garden and my weeds. I kind of got used to my weeds. They saw me coming. Yeah, it's just for the season. Now I have to do something else for the winter. I have to find another situation to communitize myself in. So I'm on the lookout. I'm on the lookout for a new community situational. This week and next week I won't be around here in my state of Michigan. We're heading towards Maryland. Yeah, you had to do it, huh, Paige? Poor little flowers had to go. Good morning, everybody. Let me turn this business around. Good morning. Shuffleboard. I played shuffleboard one time in my whole life, and it was on a cruise ship. It was on a cruise ship. We did a cruise to Alaska. It's the only time I actually played the real deal. Sat in deck chairs. It was a really nice trip. Great trip to go see our great state of Alaska. You get up, take a special tour, get on a smaller boat from the cruise ship, and you go out into the glacier fields and you watch the glaciers calve. Chunks of them fall off into the ocean. The colors are out of this world. Out of this world. And then we took a train ride on a narrow gauge track all the way back to the gold fields. A few other things. Yeah, boy, that was an amazing trip. They had a casino on the boat, and Pops brought his Texas Hold'em skills to the casino, and I more than paid for the trip and everything that it was one of those you eat all you want on the one ticket, but then there's nicer restaurants on board, and if you wanted to go to a nicer restaurant, you had to pay for that food. So, Derek, the casino kept giving you free cruises. Yeah, come on back. No, no joke, I probably hauled a good $1,500 off of the cruise boat, because those people weren't real poker players. They were out there having a good time, and Pop says, "Oh, we're having a good time, shanking them." Jesus Christ. Yeah. If you ever want to win a lot of money at poker, take a cruise ship. If you're a decent cruise player. Oh, Joe, geez, that's crazy. Yeah, if you're a decent poker player, you'll do okay on a cruise ship, because the level of competition isn't what you see at the nightly casinos. Just a word of observation. And then wait till about 10 or 11 o'clock at night before you hit the table. The more inebriated the players are, the better you have a chance. I'd sit there with water and pretend it was vodka. Anyways, that was back in my shyster days. Wasn't really a shyster though. I was just playing good poker. Playing really good poker. Is Billy D here today? Did we see Billy? I haven't seen Billy. Like you said, Billy's dealing with some health issues. Let's keep him in our thoughts, you guys. I'm sure it felt good for him to be able to go back and see all the positive comments that came in last Friday when he wasn't able to be here. Yeah, I'm going back. I don't see Billy here today. Oh, that kind of makes me sad. That means he's still probably in the hospital. I'll have to write to him after the show here. See how Billy's doing. I'll give you guys a report tomorrow. I'll find out what Billy's up to, and I'll get you guys a report tomorrow. Excuse me. That's very nice of you guys to get wells to Billy. A couple of quick rando factos, and then we're going to dive right in this morning to a really good article, and then we're going to talk about some emotions. Sound good? Disney has a policy. Disney has a policy. They don't have to let you in their park if you have a tattoo that they deem objectionable. So what happened to the right of free print? The right of free tattoos? And who gets to decide? Who's in charge at each of the theme parks? Blow, the tattoo judge comes over. Time out. Let's check you out. Who gets to decide? What's going on with that idea? Disney, calm down. What if you had a tattoo of Mickey Mouse? Sorry, you can't come in. That's copyright infringement. No, Jesus, we don't. Niffer, I won't probably ever visit a theme park again. They're just sort of a rip. They're sort of a rippy. Yeah, Disney went a little, there's a British TV show. The actual show itself is about filming other people watching TV in their home. What? Like, we don't have enough junk to watch? Now we have to watch people watching junk? That's a TV show in the UK. Filming, watching us watch TV. They don't care what's on TV. They want to see what you're doing. Each scratch and each scratches their... Oh, they'll catch me scratching. I do an auto scratch once in a while. Okay? You want to hear good news, bad news? Good news, bad news. This is old news. Waylon Jennings let the Big Bopper take his seat on an airplane. And Buddy Holly, guitarist Tommy Alsop, lost his seat on a coin toss to Richie Valens on the same plane. That plane crashed, and it killed Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, and the Big Bopper. Waylon Jennings missed it, and Tommy also got saved by the flip of a coin. Crazy. Power bill jumped to 300, usage went down. I think we're going to all see huge energy increases, electricity, and we can thank AI for that. Is that right, Kimberly? Buddy Holly in Lubbock. Yeah, Paige, that's a crazy story. But you're going to see a lot bigger energy prices thanks to AI and the amount of energy it takes to power it. You get one advantage and you get a couple disadvantages with it. Craziness. I heard about a guy that made a commitment. He's going to say, he already did it. I'm going to spend 48 hours in my life, the next 48 hours, where I don't have anything to do with AI. No AI will touch my sphere in the next 48 hours. Blows your mind how much AI is actually, even underneath and in the smallest things, it blows your mind. AI isn't just writing essay papers for us. AI, it's all the way down to you do a drive-through at McDonald's and AI is involved. AI is everywhere. This guy found out he had to just stay home, not go anywhere, not watch anything, not listen to anything, and just read books for 48, put his phone down. Yeah, they're using it at your county. They're using it. AI is everywhere. I see what you're saying, Exception. Greenie, you may be talking about a deliberate, let me go to an AI program and use it, but AI is underneath everything that we do now. It's processing, it's signaling, it's crazy. AI. The first global urban planning conference was about how to handle all the horse manure that was around. Global urban planning. This was before cars. The first global urban planning conference was mostly about horse manure. Well, that would have been a stinky conference. Yeah? See what I did there? In Papua New Guinea, you think burning witches at the stake is an old thing? Yeah, Greenie, it's always crazy. You think that they stopped burning witches by now? Nah. In Papua New Guinea, villagers burned a woman suspected of witchcraft, and they put it on the internet in 2015. Why would they have to put it on the internet? All right, you're already a backwards culture and you're still burning witches in 2015. But what the heck, why do we need to see it on the internet? What? What's wrong with you villagers? The population of London, finally in the year 2015, it exceeded the population of London. Yeah, Herbie, where'd they even get iPhone tech to put it on the internet? In 2015, London finally caught up, its population finally caught up with the population it had in 1939. It exceeded it by one person. 1939, it has X for its population. It took till 2015 to have it to be X plus 1. That's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy. Edgar Allan Poe. Well, I'm sure the war did nerdy, and then all the bombed out buildings, and they had to, they had to rebuild, and a lot of people left the city for the countryside, and maybe even other countries due to World War II, and then they just weren't super fast about repopulating and rebuilding. Yeah. Does anybody, when they think of Edgar Allan Poe, do they think of an alcoholic writer? Was he, do you think he's, we do get that in the news, or we do get that as we hear about that. Oh, Edgar Allan Poe, great author. But he was an alcoholic, right? I've been to the spot where he died. It's in Baltimore. It's in the inner cities of Baltimore. And they've memorialized this spot on a curb. Street, curb, sidewalk. And they've memorialized this one spot. And it's where he slipped and hit his head on the curb, and that's what caused him to die. Baltimore. We don't know, was he, because they didn't do an alcoholic autopsy, but did he die because he was alcoholic? Or did he have, they were thinking maybe he had an epileptic seizure. Before he turned 2, Edgar Allan Poe's nursemaid freely administered gin and other spirituous liquors with sometimes laudanum, which is opium dissolved in alcohol, to him and his sisters to make them strong and healthy, and sometimes to put them to sleep. There you go, little baby, lullaby. I'm going to opium dose you to sleep. You're going to die pretty soon from this business. Wow. Craziness. You want to hear something even crazier? Wait for this. The liberation, wait for this, of concentration camp prisoners didn't include homosexuals who were technically guilty. They had to finish their sentence, and they did not receive reparations. What are you talking about? Yeah, it's illegal to be a homosexual, so we can throw you in the concentration camp too. And then when we save everybody from the concentration camp, not you, or you, or you, you guys have to finish your sentence. That isn't that long ago, you guys. Crazy human beings, how they treat each other. Insanity prevailed. Yeah, leave the, and you got a especially bad one if you were a Jewish gay. Yeah, can you imagine that, Greenie? Let's read an article. Elliot Marseille wants the most bang for his buck. Who doesn't? But instead of clipping coupons, he's spent 40 years hunting for healthcare bargains. Now, as founding director of UC Berkeley's Collaborative for the Economics of Psychedelics, he's building the case that psychedelic therapies aren't just effective, they're economically smart. We asked Elliot how an expensive therapy can actually save money. What needs to happen for insurers to cover psychedelics? And why measuring positive well-being could change the future of mental health care. You guys ready? Let's see what he has to say about that. Elliot Marseille. What drew you to health economics in the first place, and then specifically to studying psychedelic therapies? I lived in Nepal from 1982 to 1989, where I ran a national blindness prevention program for the SEVA Foundation. When I came back to Berkeley and I did my doctoral work, I realized I had access to a treasure trove of outcome information from SEVA-sponsored cataract surgeries in Nepal. About 21,000 cases in this database. One of my dissertation chapters focused on the cost effectiveness of cataract surgery in Nepal. That led me to Jim Kahn, who I continue to work with to this day. He really got me involved in cost effectiveness analysis, which became the focus of most of my work. Mainly my efforts were concerned with the economics of HIV treatment and prevention in developing countries. Resources are always constrained, so I found it compelling to answer the question, how can you do the most good with what you've got? The shift to psychedelic therapies came after I met Rick Doblin. I had a serendipitous meeting with him at Burning Man. It was maybe a 10-minute conversation, but I walked away thinking, okay, my life is different now. I phased out of the global health work and phased into psychedelic economics. About 5 years ago, I started the Collaborative for the Economics of Psychedelics at UC Berkeley. Give me 5 people that are finding this so far interesting. The economics of psychedelics. Does it make sense? We've got a guy who's been spending his life studying this kind of stuff. Okay, good. I've had some interest. Thank you. Have a good day, nerds. Your research shows psychedelic therapies could be cost-saving for the healthcare system. How does an expensive therapy end up saving money? How do we keep the costs below the threshold where it stops becoming economically viable? An expensive therapy ends up saving money if it reduces future costs. Take the new generation of hepatitis C medications. When they first came out, the cost was roughly $100,000 for 2 pills plus supportive care, and people lost their minds over that. They called it unconscionable price gouging. I worked with ICER on a cost-effective analysis, and somewhat to my surprise, found that this new therapy was very cost-effective, even at those prices, because it was a cure that prevented expensive downstream costs like liver transplants and hospitalizations. It's important to understand the difference between cost-effective and cost-saving, because people often conflate the two. Cost-effective means good use of money compared to feasible alternatives. In other words, you're buying health benefit at a good price. Most medical care doesn't save money, but it produces health benefit. A small subset actually saves money over time because the effects are so significant. The new antiviral treatments for hepatitis C are now in that class. And over the past few years, price has fallen significantly, so they are more favorable. For MDMA, assisted therapy for PTSD, the phase 3 trials show 2/3 of people no longer met the criteria for PTSD after treatment. These were chronic, treatment-resistant cases averaging 14 to 18 years since diagnosis. Whatever they were getting wasn't really working. In our model, if MDMA effects lasted more than 3.2 years, it would start to be cost saving. Beyond 1 year, it was already cost effective. We used a cost of about $11,500 for a therapy, which is low compared to what's being talked about now. However, even at very high price levels, the therapy is likely cost effective depending on durability. Good morning, Gypsy. At those high prices, it may not be widely accessible though, which is a completely different problem. Something could be cost effective, but not that attractive to third-party payers. For psilocybin therapy, for treatment-resistant depression, the effects are smaller than MDMA for PTSD. Our analysis suggests psilocybin becomes cost-effective when the drug itself costs around $500. Group therapy is one promising avenue for keeping costs down. We've seen it reduce costs for psilocybin by about 25% and 51% for MDMA with veterans. However, these numbers depend very much on the price of the psychedelic medicine itself. Group therapy can only reduce personnel costs, but there are many other ways to reduce costs. On the provider side, this could include cross-credentialing, for example, of nurses, chaplains, and peer facilitators. This could expand the workforce and lower labor costs. So you get a chaplain who's credentialed in psychedelic therapy. It's going to be cheaper because he has multi-dimensional skills. And you don't have to bring in a facilitator because you already have the chaplain. Okay? So cross-credentialing, huge. There is a lot of interest in improving screening so that psychedelic therapies are reserved for those who are most likely to benefit. In that way, the cost per person who benefits, which is of course the cost we're most interested in, declines. Another obvious strategy would be public benefit manufacturing or nonprofit drug sourcing, such as the work being pioneered by the USONA Institute. This could include public-private cost-sharing pilots with philanthropic donors or foundations co-founding early implementation phases. There are also a range of payer-side innovations possible, such as outcome-based contracts, where reimbursements are tied to measurable clinical improvements, or shared saving plans, in which providers share in documented reductions in downstream healthcare costs. Can you imagine that? The concept is you're going to sign a contract before your therapy. And if we don't see measurable difference in your wellness outcome over whatever the period of time is in the contract, we're going to give you your money back. You know what? If you're the guy selling the thing, you should be willing to sign that contract. After all, you're trying to convince somebody this is going to work for you. This is going to work. Give us your $1,500 and this is going to work. Promise. That reminds me of back in the day, my mom and dad, they were big time smokers. Big time. Um, they smoked like 3 packs a day each. So you look around my house, there was 6 packs of nicotine smoke in the air. We didn't know a thing about secondhand smoke. My dad decided, this was my dad. They were running commercials at the time on TV. I forget the name of the company or the organization, but it was basically guaranteed that we can get you to stop smoking. Guaranteed. And if we don't get you to stop, this is said on the commercial, if we don't get you to quit smoking, we'll refund all your money. So my dad, we remember this, our family has this as a story. So my dad turns to my mom and he says, that's a bunch of crap. There's no way that program, he didn't even know what the program was. But he was like, there's no way that that program's going to work. Nobody can make me quit smoking. I can't quit. Well, honey, why don't we try it for you? Who knows how much it was, but it was a chunk of money back then. So my dad joins the program with the specific intent of not being cured. So he could prove to the to the curing people that their program was BS because he said so. Now somebody tell me that isn't a little crazy. I'm gonna pay for the program, and I'm gonna prove that they can't make me stop smoking, and I'll get my money back. That was my dad. He goes to the program 2 or 3 or 4 times a week. And the whole program was basically this. Smoke. As soon as you finish smoking a cigarette, smoke another one. As soon as you finish, smoke another one. They were gassing you out with your cigarette smoking. And then they take the cigarette butts and they put them in a big pile, in a big thing, a bowl in front of you. So you have this heaping pile of cigarette butts and ashes and everything else. And for the last half hour of the class, you have to just stare at the cigarette butts, but you're not allowed to smoke. That was the program. And they're trying to basically disgust you. They're basically trying to disgust you out of the habit. Okay? My dad's staring at the bowl. He goes, okay, well, I'll be back tomorrow. Anyways, at the end of the program, almost everybody in the thing quit smoking. It worked. Except for my dad. Sorry, Eves. It didn't work for you. Because he would go in and smoke right in front of him and go, okay, it didn't work. It didn't work for me. I want my money back. The check's in the mail. The check is in the mail. Call him again. Go in. The check is in the mail. The check is in the mail. To the day my dad died, they never refunded his money to him. Sue us. So he lost both ways. He smoked more than he ever should have. And he never got his money back. Crazy. No, it's not impeccable. Oh, they scammed everybody that was in the program. It worked for some people, though. He admitted that. There were some people never smoked or stopped smoking. Not me, though. He was all proud of himself for failing the program. I mean, when you go in with the idea that you're going to fail, guess what? You're probably going to fail. I'll never forget that, though. Yeah, my dad tried to quit smoking. Crazy story. It just reminded me when I saw the one about the contracts. You know what? If they plan on giving you your money back, I don't know. It might be worth trying. Might be worth trying. I'm going to move forward to talking about emotions. I like the concept, though. Give me 5 people that think that's really fair. We sign a therapy contract. If I don't have a measurable difference in my wellness, my mental wellness, I think you guys should be giving me my money back. It didn't work for me. I think that's the way to go. I think 5 people here agree. 5 people here agree. Oh, I know, Calico Kid. We all had to contend with the Marlboro Man back then. Last Friday, I left you guys with a thought. And the thought was that I'm not sure. Whoops. I want the music down a little because usually I leave it too loud. Give me a number between 1 and 50. I got one in my head. I need to send somebody a package today. I have time today to get a package out. It's going to have an 1/8 of supplemental supplements, and it's going to have around 14 grams of the smokable from Derek. Give me a number between 1 and 50. It's in my head. I'm going to send a package to somebody. We haven't sent a package all last week. You have to be over 18. You have to be in the United States. I'm still looking. I'm looking for somebody to give me the number between 1 and 50. And we'll be sending you out a nice package. Aaron just won with the number 4. Aaron won. Congratulations. Aaron, send me your address at the Detroit Mush Lab. All one word, all lowercase. The Detroit Mush Lab at gmail.com. And we'll send that out to you today. Because tomorrow morning, we'll finish the show about 10:15 or so. As soon as I'm done, I'm jumping in my car and I'm driving down to around the area of Annapolis, Maryland. Heading down there, and we'll be on the road for the next until Thanksgiving. So we shouldn't miss a show, but starting Wednesday, you'll see the show with a different background. I'll be broadcasting from my sister's house, and other places that we find in the area that are broadcast worthy. So that's tomorrow. Okay? Now I am bringing a small amount of prepackaged supplements with me. I don't want to violate my sister's house. Not that I don't know that she would mind, but I'm just going to play it super safe. I'll have some prepackaged supplements with me, but not a lot. And I will bring my label machine with me. So if I do need to send somebody something, somebody's look whatever, I'll be able to go in the house, print the label, go out to the car, find one of my prepackaged boxes, slap the label on it, and drop it at a post office there to get out. So Thanksgiving's coming up. If people were planning on doing anything journey-esque-ish for Thanksgiving, you'll want to get your stuff in pretty quickly. And if not, that's okay. Once I timed the grow house to, today will be my last drying session. And then everything else is shut down until I get back. And I'll be back on the Sunday after Thanksgiving, we'll be home. So Ruff and I are going to road dog it. So starting Wednesday, you'll see us at a different venue. Okay? Last Friday we said, I'm not sure there's a braver sentence. I do not have an LC available, Justin, but Sandy does. Sandman has LC available. So if you're looking for LC, my understanding is that Sandman is geared up and he's ready to send LC to people. Okay, good morning, MVP. I'm not sure there's a braver sentence in the human catalog of brave sentences than my feelings are hurt. You know, I sure don't say it very often. Even when you hurt my feelings, I don't let you know. It doesn't happen too much anymore, because I don't take things personal. But you guys remember my nickname with my sisters? Once in a while, they'd call me Sensitivo. Once in a while, they would call me Sensitivo, because I was oversensitive. And instead of telling you that my feelings are hurt, I'd start a fight. I never told my ex-wife she hurt my feelings. I would just fight. I'd start a fight. Crazy. But that was the easiest way for me to mask my hurt. I'd be darned if I would tell somebody they hurt my feelings. I'm just going to slug you. I'm just going to argue with you. I'm just going to put you down. I'm just going to get defensive. I wish I'd have known how to say, my feelings are hurt. And notice I didn't say, you hurt my feelings. You don't get to be responsible for my feelings anymore. If my feelings are hurt, that's a my issue. That's a me issue. Now, it may have taken external stimuli, but then I internalized it. My feelings are hurt. Granny, it's so much easier to fight than tell, but can you imagine that's all it takes? My feelings are hurt. 4 words. What most humans aren't going to keep piling on. They've done, whoa. My feelings are hurt right now. Oh yeah? Well, let me pile on some more. most people will back off. You might even get an apology because they didn't realize they were doing it. My feelings are hurt. Practice saying that when it happens. Practice saying that when it actually happens. The response isn't even your responsibility, it's theirs. It's simple, it's vulnerable, and it's honest. But we don't say it very often. We get pissed off. We hurt back. Or we internalize the hurt until we believe we deserve it. And that something's actually wrong with us. HB and MVP, I hope you guys feel better. But rarely do we say, this really hurt my feelings. The definition of hurt from a team of researchers led by Anita Evangelisti goes a long way in explaining why acknowledging hurt is so difficult. They write, individuals who are hurt experience a combination of sadness and having been emotionally wounded and a fear of being vulnerable to harm. When people feel hurt, they have appraised something that someone said or did as causing them emotional pain. We all know that it's really scary to put our heart out on the line and say, I feel wounded and sad about what happened yesterday. And I'm afraid to get hurt again. That's deeply vulnerable. But it's also universal. All of us have felt this way. Often and a lot. It's impossible to be in relationships and avoid ever feeling hurt. Just as it's impossible to know love without knowing what it feels like to have a broken heart. Evangelisti and Teen explain that hurt often happens through social interaction. In fact, hurt feelings are most often caused by people with whom we have close relationships. When we feel devalued or rejected by that other person. Most behaviors that result in hurt feelings are not intended to be hurtful. They typically involve actions that are thoughtless, careless, or insensitive. However, the more intentional an action is perceived, the more you will feel the hurt. Our hurt feelings are typically experienced simultaneously with other emotions, such as sadness, anger, anxiety, jealousy, loneliness. As a result, they don't always feel the same way as most other emotions do. However, research indicates that even though hurt feelings are a mix of several emotions, they are a distinct emotional experience and not just a combination of negative emotions. As I was explaining this to my teenage son, all I could come up with is the rainbow snow cone analogy. There's grape, cherry, lime, lemon, orange, and blueberry. But you don't really taste all of those when you eat it. It just tastes like a rainbow snow cone. Our reactions to hurt feelings can be self-blaming, or we might cry, or we might lash out, or we might retaliate by trying to hurt the other person, and then go seek out a relationship where you don't feel hurt, just to find comfort. When reparation doesn't seem possible, hurt feelings turn into anger or sadness. One thing that motivates me to be a little braver in how I handle my hurt feelings is research shows that when we respond to hurt feelings with anger, the other person tends to match our anger for anger. Sounds like my whole relationship with my ex-wife. Instead of telling each other that we were hurt by some, probably not even an intentional act or situation, we would just start a fight. And now the fight, oh, you hurt me, wait for, man, I got a zinger for you. And then what do? Most of your zingers are bringing up the past. Something that had already happened, you supposedly forgave and moved on from, but you bring the zingers up or a lot of your pasts. If you remember what we teach in the first agreement, impeccable, being impeccable, it's that justice means paying once. It is unjust to continue to bring things up and make people pay for things that you've forgiven and moved past. It's just a way to stoke anger and hurt feelings. However, when repair seems possible, and we share our hurt feelings, and we try to reconnect without the anger, the person tends to respond with constructive actions, including their own apologies and their own amends. I've tried it. I'm so pissed off right now because you're a jerk. But I'm going to say that my feelings are so hurt, so you apologize right this second. That's clearly not what I had in mind. You don't take your hurt and anger and force an apology. How valid could that apology actually be? That's just a shut up and go away apology. It's the internalizing of hurt and not admitting to it. Like I said earlier, very few people will continue to pile on if you're telling them, man, I'm hurting right now. We can discuss my hurt, and I don't want to be angry. And I'm certainly not going to blame you. This is about me. I never said you hurt me. I said I'm hurt. I'm responsible for my own reaction. I don't want to give somebody the power to hurt me. I don't want you to be able to hurt me. In order for you to hurt me, I literally have to surrender power to you. And the one way that I stop from ever being in that situation is practicing the second agreement, which says I can't take things personal. If I take things personal, I am making myself available for hurt and anger and all of those other negative emotions. If I can move past it, just understand that it's you and what you're saying is coming from you and your life and your experiences, and own whatever responsibility I have. Make sure my side of the street is clean. If I've been acting impeccably all along, then I know it's not me. That doesn't mean I stop and I don't care that you're hurt. But I wasn't the one that hurt you. that came from somewhere else. Not only do I not want to be hurt, I don't want to be a hurter. And that comes from the first agreement. Be impeccable with your words. The words that I use out to you people and to the people in my life are not attacking words. They're not. They're not about trying to create strife and anger. The words that I use out and the acts that I put forward, I try to make them generous acts and kind acts. I'll give you an example. I don't think I hurt Aaron today. Aaron's getting a box. I deliberately didn't hurt Aaron today. I was deliberately kind and generous. It happened to be Aaron. It could have been any of you. But it's hard for Aaron to be hurt. And I'm not saying you have to give something to keep from hurting someone, other than give yourself. You don't have to give a box. If you're giving, you're not hurting. Does any of that resonate? Generally, you're not the guy that's getting kicked. If you're a giver and a kindness spreader. Be a giver, be a kindness spreader. Your hurt ratio crashes. It's hard to be thought of as a jerk. All you know about the guy is he gives. It's not that hard to do. Derek Anderson does it every day. He just gives kindness and exhortation and he builds you up and he makes you feel good about yourself. That's just one example. Many of us here are the exact same way. But I'll get 3 or 4 texts a week from Derek Anderson giving. And I'm not material things. Just giving. The last guy on the planet I would ever want to hurt, well, all of you. Oh, me too, nerdy. Nipper, I love that too. The last thing you want to do is hurt a giver. You just don't do that. That's kicking a gift horse in the mouth. He's extremely generous. Many of you are. I just used him as an example this morning, and Aaron as an example. Now, the guys that sit around here and all they want is to receive, gimme, gimme, gimme. I said the number first. They're not thinking about giving. They're thinking about what can they get. When you're thinking about what you can get, it's a lot easier to get hurt because you didn't get it. You didn't get what you expected. Agreement number 3. You made an assumption. You had an expectation. You didn't get it. You didn't get what you wanted, what you expected, what you deserved. Hate that word. The universe works like this, I'm going to tell you. If you be a giver, you are a receiver. The people that give are the people that receive. It's a universal, weird principle that I'm not even in the place to understand. I just know it's true. When I'm worried about what I'm going to get, I'm setting myself up for anger, frustration, disappointment, hurt feelings, and blaming somebody else. Our last note about hurt feelings. Researchers Mark Leary and Carrie Springer have interesting thoughts on the language of hurt feelings. Unlike most other emotions, the expression hurt feelings lacks obvious synonyms. The words wounded and pained have similar connotations, but these words are typically not used to describe emotional experiences. Also, although many emotions such as sadness or grief can be described as distressing or painful, hurt feelings seems to be a more specific connotation than general emotional pain. An example might be grief. If I'm grieving over the loss of someone close to me, I might tell you I'm really hurting, but I probably wouldn't say her death hurt my feelings. It's a great reminder of the power of language. When we're expressing emotion, it's important to differentiate experiencing hurt from having hurt feelings. Big difference. We'll close with the quote. I'm not sure there's a braver sentence in the human catalog of brave sentences than my feelings are hurt. It's simple, it's vulnerable, and it's honest. But we don't say it very often. We get pissed off, or we hurt back, or we internalize the hurt until we believe we deserve it and something's wrong with us. But rarely do we say, this really hurt my feelings. It's simple, it's honest, it's vulnerable. And if you're realistically feeling a hurt feeling, and you know you can ascribe it to a person or an action that they took, it might be worth having a conversation with them. And say, I don't mean to attack you. I just want you to know when you did such and such, my feelings got hurt. Not you hurt my feelings, but I was in such a headspace. I'm at a place in my maturity where that particular thing actually hurt me. I just wanted you to know. And why would I want someone to know that? Sometimes they're doing stuff that's not, they don't even realize that it's unintentional, and yet they're spreading hurt. So we can teach people not to hurt each other. But we have to do it with kindness. We have to use the right power, the right words to reach that person without attacking them or blaming them for your feelings. Making sense, guys? Making some sense over here. Making some sense. So, tomorrow, excuse me, tomorrow we'll have a great day. I'll hit the road, and then starting on Wednesday, I'll be broadcasting from Sis's house and other, I don't even know what the arrangements are going to be, but we'll keep the show going. I'll be on the road. Okay? So, 4 things. Be impeccable with your word and your actions. Don't take things personal. You can really mitigate the hurt in your life. You can start to experience almost none. Just be a giver. At this point, right when you're about to take something personal, don't. Just give something. And I don't mean it has to be material, because we don't all have material stuff to give. But you've got yourself to give. Derek gives without giving. I mean, he gives plenty of material too, but Derek can do it in 2 sentences. So can any of us. 2 sentences. And we're giving to each other, to our community, to our friendships. And you know who grows the most when they give? The giver. It's so basic. The first will be last, and the last will be first. Be the last. You're actually the first. Third, have no expectations and make no assumptions. And fourth, do your best. Today, your level of best is what it is. Do it. Tomorrow, you'll have another level. Do it. Do your best every day. And don't hurt. Don't hurt people. And don't be hurt by people. Live above that. We can live above those kind of actions. I'm going to scroll you guys out. Aaron and Daniel. I see Daniel here. Derek Anderson. Zoo City. HB. Irving Von Worthy Kebab. Derek Anderson. Jesus Christ in Australia. Lynette. Calico Kitty. Derek. Daniel Headbuster. HB. Daniel. Anthony Hunt. Lynette, thank you. Mike Barabal. Good morning, Mikey. Must Love Music. Zoo City. Mr. Marmars. Calico Meow Kitty, thank you. Jesus Christ, Derek Anderson. Kimberly and B. Hendricks and Pidgey Page. Mike Barabal and I want Bill D to feel better. HB. Niffy. Good morning, Niffs. Derek Anderson, Sammy P. Anthony Hunt. Giving feels so good that it almost feels selfish. I like that. Zozo LSD. Daniel and Aaron and Lynette and Mr. Marmars. And there's my cleanster. Derek Anderson, thank you. Choosing kindness. Exception. There's another very kind person. Very, very thoughtful. HB Cyber Jolie. Good morning, Jolie. Classic and Mr. Phillips and Mike Barabal. Marmars. Daniel Herbie Malworthy Kabak. Roxanne Merrill, I was checking your package. It says it's supposed to be delivered today. Hope you enjoy. Jesus Christ. Calico Meow Kitty, Mr. Marmar's Pharmacy Runner. Jesus Christ, Aaron. Viva Vibes, that's Pidgey Page. Zoo and Red Boy. And Nippy and Jimmy Max, all the way to the max. HB and Mr. Marmars, Jesus Christ. Mike Barabal, Mr. Marmars again. Herbie. Trenty the Trenty Trenterson. Sammy P. Notorious Skate. And with that, I'm going to skate right on out of here, okay? We'll see you guys tomorrow. Pops, peace, love. Out.